thank you for joining us for a Wednesday press conference. I'm Steve Fishback with the Public Affairs Office, and we're getting a little bit of feedback. Hold on a second. And so with this, we are going to be picking back up with a bi-weekly Wednesday press conference. Is going to follow a consistent format with how we were doing it before, but particularly for our media partners, it's going to be every other Wednesday. And with that, we're going to be discussing topics of interest and importance to our community as well as to our media partners. We appreciate you being with us, and keep in mind we are doing this virtually today as we all try to navigate through COVID-19. Today we want to highlight some of the successes in the North Tryon Division as well as some of the crime reduction efforts that are starting to pay dividends for us. We have members of that North Tryon Division here with us today to discuss some of those efforts as well as take some of the questions from our media partners. We're going to start with Sergeant Lauren Stubblefield.
Hello, everybody. I'm Sergeant Stubblefield. I'm here to highlight the great work by patrol officers and detectives of North Tryon Division so far in 2022. Overall violent crime is down 15% from last time. This includes drops of murders down 50%, rape is down 100%, and robberies are down 41%. Thus far, there are 31 gun seizures. That's a 7% increase from last year. To highlight what detectives are already currently working on, but what I can say is all this work thus far from January, that's the hard work of everybody, including patrol, detectives, and we're going to hear from 4140 members. One, Officer Wiggins, he's coming up and he's going to highlight the great work that they're doing.
Kind of lead you into what Project 4140 is and how it came about. 2018, the Charlotte City Council and CMPD came together to identify multiple violent crime corridors that include West Sugar Creek Road and I-85 area. These corridors the Project 4140 gets with the area, and by ramping up criminal investigations in the area, taking more violent criminals and mainly the repeat offenders off the streets. A lot of these accomplishments have been made through better business practices discussions with these business owners, getting them to help combat crime through the better business practices. Also, a lot of operations are conducted in the district, whether it be multiple agency or just district-wide, to include our crime reduction unit, coordinators, detectives, and patrol officers. Patrol plays a big part. They have a bunch of other responsibilities in the district, but they also help us a lot with intelligence and enforcing crime specifically in that area. Like I said, this process has been a collaboration with the businesses, city leadership, the district attorney's office, and other outside organizations. For more success on the 4140 project, I'm going to introduce Detective Sean Stewart.
Good morning, everyone. Detective Stewart, North Tryon Division. Project 4140, as my partner said, started in 2018. We hit the ground running in 2019. We saw an overall reduction in crime 11% with a reduction of 23% for violent crime. Moving to 2022, historical norms, with no robberies reported at this time. Property crime does still continue to remain elevated. Some other things to highlight is some of the programs and projects that we've worked on in collaboration with the city and with CMPD internal. One of those projects to include would be a camera pilot program that's coming hopefully this spring. That would be a city-led or a CMPD-led program that is in partnership with Duke Power and the local businesses in the area. That project is hopefully going to increase camera coverage, surveillance coverage in the area to, one, assist the businesses, assist our officers responding for information coming in, and also assist with investigations, proactive and reactive. Some other things to highlight through the investigation portion of it. Our unit was involved in a vehicle theft and cloning investigation. That investigation led to the identification of 20 stolen vehicles and the seizure of multiple firearms and narcotics. That investigation was in partnership with the FBI. Another investigation we'd like to highlight for the area when it comes to narcotics is that investigation culminated in 20-plus warrants for an individual, and one of those charges was death by distribution, which is a newer charge that came in December of 2018, I believe. We were one of the first units to charge that in Mecklenburg, and hopefully we'll see continued success. The collaboration, 4140 collaboration, has made an area of historically high crime safer over the past 3 years, promoting better conditions.
Okay, it's great to see representation from just about all of our local outlets here today, even if it is just virtually. And at this point in time, we'd like to open it up to questions to you. At first, let's keep those questions specific to our North Tryon presentation, as well as the area around exits 41 and 40. So at this time, we'll open it up.
Please, to our media partners, use that raise your hand feature.
Please, to our media partners, use that raise your hand feature. Okay, we don't have any questions in reference to the North Tryon topic, so at this point in time, we will open it up to more general questions for the CMPD. Nate Morbido with WCNC. Good morning.
Nate, bear with us as we try to get you on audio.
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me, Lieutenant?
I can hear you, sir.
So it's our understanding CMPD has increased its secondary employment rate for all large venues with events and games like those at Bank of America Stadium up to $63 an hour effective March 1st. Can you confirm that and tell us how the department came to that decision?
An hour effective March 1st. Can you confirm that and tell us how the department came to that decision?
Well, I can't confirm that number right now, Mr. Morbido. What I can tell you is we are in conversation with our vendors and private business partners as we try to staff these events that fall outside of our normal duties. And we all know that we're getting more and more events each year, and the city of Charlotte and the region at large really leans on our officers to make those events happen. So we're also looking at ways to make sure that our officers working those events are taken care of. On the reverse end of that, we are in the process of communicating those changes back down throughout the organization to our officers, and they need to hear that information from us first before we start giving that information to the outside, and they hear that from you. Next question.
Got Susanna Black.
Ms. Black, good morning.
Hey, Lieutenant. Wanted to follow up with you on the shooting at the Lowe's shopping center on South Tryon Street yesterday. And I may have a couple follow-up questions after this. But first, is CMPD investigating whether the shooting was justified, and what is the protocol for that?
Sure. So, and you're always welcome to reference those other questions to us afterwards, as always. But of course, anytime that any person within our jurisdiction discharges a firearm, that is one of the key elements of that investigation, is to determine, was that a justified shooting? We all know that every case is different. There's a number of circumstances that feed into every case, and all of those circumstances are taken into account as our detectives work through those cases.
Suzanne has a follow-up question.
Ms. Black, go ahead with your follow-up.
So, thank you for that answer. Does CMPD know who the people are that the security guard shot at, and if they will face any charges?
So that investigation is continuing, and that's one of the things that has to be taken into account of. As we get more information with that case, that will be dispersed out through the Public Information Office. Any other questions? Ms. Black?
I do have one more follow-up, if that's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Does CMPD know who the security guard was working for, if they were with Lowe's or maybe like a third-party security service?
Yes, we do know that information. That's not information that we're putting out at this time as we continue to work through that investigation. And to your earlier point, as we determine if that shooting was in fact justified. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you for joining us this morning as you help us communicate with the community. And again, look back for us in 2 weeks for our next Wednesday press conference.